The 26th of November is when the Chancellor will deliver her second budget, or as it's fast becoming known, the nightmare before Christmas. Last year, she said she is absolutely not coming back for more taxes. But as we all know, that was a fairy tale. So what does she have in store? So we're going to have some festive fun here and see if we can predict what she will do in each of the key areas of taxation. But before we do that, firstly, we need to figure out what she needs to raise. Now, I think the best case scenario is she's going to need at least £20 billion just to cover the additional costs. And she will also need some form of buffer as well. So I think we're going to start off by saying she's going to need to raise about £35 billion, which actually is slightly less than last year. So that's good. She can say that it's less than the previous year. That's my first prediction. Now, where's she going to get this money from? Well, let's start, shall we, with direct taxes. So that's your income tax, your national insurance, your capital gains tax, inheritance tax, and corporation tax. So, key question. Will she raise income tax? I think that's pretty likely. I think it will be political suicide, but I don't think she's going to have a choice. I think she's going to have to put 1p on the basic rate of income tax. So that takes it from 20% to 21%. She might make it short term to soften the blow and to keep her backbenchers happy. She might add 2p, though, I think, to the 40p rate band and also to the 45p additional tax band. It pretty much goes without saying that personal allowances will be frozen again. Everyone, I think, is saying that and expecting that, and I certainly expect that too. On national insurance, this has been talked about a bit in the media. You may have seen it. I think there's a thought going around that she's going to make partnerships, so that's mainly law firms and accountants, pay national insurance, employers, national insurance on partnership earnings. Capital gains tax, I think, will also suffer an increase in tax. Rates are likely to be made closer to income tax rates, which, say, historically, they've always been quite a bit less. I think her logic is that it should be close to income tax rate. It actually makes no sense at all, actually, when you think about it, because capital gains are made on assets that you've purchased from, taxed income. But there you go. Inheritance tax, I think the nil rate band will probably stay pretty much the same. I don't think she'll look to do anything with that. However, I do think she would extend the inheritance tax regime to unused pension pots. And then finally on direct taxes, corporation tax. Now, the consensus view here seems to be that she's going to keep the 25% rate unchanged. I'm going to stick my neck out here a bit and say I think she might not do. I think she will add 1p to that to make it 26%. So that's, if you like, my big prediction for this budget. In regards to dividend tax, I think she might do a little bit of tinkering around the edges, but broadly, I think those will stay pretty much the same. So that's direct taxes. What about indirect taxes? So that's things like excise duties on alcohol, fuel duty, air passenger duty, insurance premium tax, and of course the big one, VAT. Now, given that we're likely to have a miserable Christmas anyway after the increases to the direct taxes, I think the Chancellor will really want to seal the deal on the spirit of Christmas by increasing duty on alcohol. Now, the 5p cut to fuel duty, which came into effect at the start of the Ukraine war, will almost certainly end. So that will make driving home for Christmas expensive as well. Air passenger duty is likely to rise for long-haul flights and for business flights and possibly actually all flights. The tax on insurance premiums will almost certainly go up from 12% to 14%. I don't think she'll do anything material on VAT. She might, but I don't think she will. If she does anything on VAT, I'm thinking she might look to increase VAT on luxury goods. So that will make it an unhappy Christmas in respect to your gifts as well. So let's summarize all that, shall we? She needs to raise, I think, £35 billion. And the good news for her, I suppose, is that she can say it's less than last year. So that's my first prediction. I think for income tax, I think that we're going to see a 1p increase in the basic rate. That might be temporary, maybe. And then 2p for the higher rates of tax. That's the 40p rate lots of people pay, and another 2p on the 45p rate to 47% for slightly higher earners. National insurance, I think the only change there we'll see employers NI for partnerships, although there's some people talking about maybe a reduction in NI. I don't think we're going to see that. Capital gains tax, I think those rates are likely to move much closer to income tax rates. Inheritance tax, as I say, I think the nil rate ban will remain frozen, but she might look to include unused pension pots within the IHT regime. Corporation tax, my big prediction here, an extra 1p on the rate of corporation tax for companies, and dividend tax up ever so slightly. Alcohol duty, airplane duty increases there, I suspect. Fuel duty, the 5p cut, I think that's almost a certain now that that's going to disappear. And then tax on insurance premiums will increase from 12% to 14%. That's my prediction, by the way. And then finally on VAT, nothing, just tinkering around the edges there perhaps, but look out for that increase in VAT on luxury goods. I think that will come in. So that will make for a very unmerry Christmas. So those are my predictions. My suggestion to all of you out there is that you grab yourself a glass of your favorite tipple when watching the budget. It will soften the blow, and you might not be able to afford it afterwards anyway. And lastly, if you have your predictions, I'd love to hear them. Please pop them in the box below. And then let's all check back here in about a month's time to see how we all did. Bye for now.